just yet for Ilios, and the teams are going to be clashing very early on. The bubbles exchanged as Hawk tries to run down a couple of players, but Yaki with the beam takes him out almost immediately, but Pelican luckily able to clean it up. A little bit of an off-angle play, and all the casualties, the issue too much. Edison also trying to go for the stick there, finds the mark. Slime ends up going down. And now he's still, Edison just trying to cause a bit of havoc while the rest of his team just tears apart the front line. It's a bit even as it stands, the Florida Mayhem. It's a bit of a 3-for-3, but I think...
Yeah, they can push back in here with the nano boost. They've got a lot of space here onto Gargoyle. An unusual target, but that's because he has the grab and they're hoping for a follow-up. That's a lot of people in that room, but he can't finish any of them off.
Yeah, I mean, he had high energy. He's a reasonable target to assume that, but Gator with the 3-piece, and Pelican as well, just to make things even more complicated. Duplicated on top of his own Primal Rage. Wonderful heroics, individualism, I think. Oh, that's quite nice. Edison getting taken down is a bit of an opening for them now. You can see the Primal Rage from OG as he tries to just disrupt the backline as much as possible. BQB laying down the Deadeye as well. Might just get a kill, indeed he does. Iris will fall. And they do flip the point in the process as well, which is nice, just in the middle of that team fight. So they're going to start to accrue up that percentage.
Trying to get in position to fight, and OG takes this nano boost, and he is just doing work up top.
Just cleaving them to pieces. Beautiful job being done. And OG, he will get taken down in the end, but that's okay. He'll spawn back into the fight momentarily, and he's on 80% to his Primal Rage, which is the important point.
I'd like to see Iris put the nano boost on the Gator and try and engage, but that's going to shut it down. Massa immediately picked at the start of the fight, but Atlanta's hand is kind of forced. They've already used the nano onto Gator.
That is a huge grab, though. Connects onto the 3 targets here, and you can see the duplicate being used almost immediately. Still, the Florida Mayhem trying to turn this fight around as the Primal Rages are battering against each other. And a huge grab. That was from the duplicate, I believe. Pelican switching over to the Zarya there. Able to build up a grab in rapid time, of course. And this might be enough. Still, OG brings down Gator. Go straight back into Florida Mayhem's control. They got the D-Mech onto Hawk as well. Quite worrisome, I think. BQB in the off angle. Edison and Hawk getting taken down. The fan, the hammer, as he tries to slip out of their grasp. The Florida Mayhem just about turning this one. Gator had to switch over to the Wrecking Ball just to try and contest, but it will not be enough. As the overtime goes down, that is round number 1 going to the Florida Mayhem. And he's on one, he's feeling himself, that's for sure. And that one pick just opens it up again. It means the Florida Mayhem don't have to worry about the backline too much. They can just press all the way forwards. The advantage is theirs. And they're finding so many of these picks. Gargoyle ended up committing the Graviton Surge as well into this team fight just to really seal it. I suppose he's quite confident in his ability to build up another one, but the Atlanta Range is going to be taking Rangers cannot move forward whatsoever, but there we go. Pelican switching over to the Winston now, and he's already built up a Primal Rage of his own, battering them into the corner once more. And the picks are going all the way to the Atlanta Rain. Look at them, they cannot move out of the side of it. And off the back of that, that should be enough damage done for them to be able to flip this point. You can see it's already in. Already, he's going to get the sticky bombs laid out onto him, trying to follow up on a lot of this grab damage as well. He's able to do so. The rest of the Atlanta Rain able to just work off the back of that, despite the fact that the Primal Rage didn't get maximum value. It's perfectly fine. They're just going to come back, get healed back up now. That's really what they were looking out. Whilst the Florida Mayhem are focusing on their own support line. Beautiful mechanics there from OG. She's going to be sending Iris right off the edge, and a Graviton Surge on top of it. Catches so many targets, it's impossible to miss. Already off the back of that.
Yeah, Atlanta invested a lot of ults into that fight as well, Brent. They used double support ult in the middle of this.
And here comes the duplicate now. Onto the Winston again. Pelican just looking to build up the Primal Rage again. He does manage to get the pick onto BQB, but that is also going to cause a bit of aggression from the Florida Mayhem. Massa and Iris, the support line for the Atlanta Rain, are finished. This might be a flip over. Look at this, OG's trying to save this point, just trying to make sure it holds on for a little bit longer, as the overtime will burn. Might just be able to get onto it. Body blocked away, just about getting on. Yaki takes out Pelican as well. This could still be winnable for the Florida Mayhem, Josh.
They're getting pushed off the point though, and look at the health on Gargoyle, on Slime. BQB here with a Pulse Bomb too, and Atlanta Rain refused to lose here on Ilios. They summon
damage. The rest of his team as well. You can see that Ice Wall, but Slime getting caught out of position. I believe that was the window laid down. Such a brutal ultimate ability if you don't respect it. Just providing enough damage here. And what is that, Yaki? Comes out of nowhere I was wondering what he was going to be doing with that pulse bomb, but now this might just be turnable. Trying to go for the 4K, but Gargoyle going to be stealing that one away from him, and now the D-Mech coming up close. What was looking like just a done and dusted team fight. I mean, Yaki is just superseded my expectations.
Team like a birthday cake.
Let's watch it again.
Look at this one. I'm pretty sure he stuck it onto Edison. It may have been onto Iris here. Oh, it was onto Iris.
Deadeye gets used early, but I think had to get cancelled out because the mines were laid down. Sound barrier used as well. No, Edison held on to it. He got the kill into BQB, took him out of the fight. The grab also laid down. And Edison's going to be removed from this fight. Still a winnable now scenario for the Florida Mayhem. Transcendent's going to be committed as well and invested. So the rest of the team is all healed up. And the rest of the Atlanta Reign are like, okay, we're not going to invest anything else into this. Damage, but the healing is immense from Iris, just being able to keep Edison alive. The pulse bomb not quite connecting, but it does force out the immortality field. Another little pile driver there coming out from OG as he tries to get the damage in, but BQB with a stray arrow knocked straight into the head of Edison. Still, self-destruct comes down onto the point. No one within the line of sight of it, and the Florida Mayhem still pressing forwards. Gangnam Jim just putting in an immense amount of pressure as well with the Discord orbs, and that charge, I mean, what flashbacks to Reinforce 2016.
The man was
what he was
stuck.
attempting there.
Yeah, he was just stuck.
Lot of force.
I mean, if he takes one with him, that's the best he can do. Look at this Dragon, so aggressive from the Florida Mayhem, because no one can touch the point.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, Brent.
So that might be an opportunity for Atlanta Reign to press the advantage, but look at this, OG just swinging into them. No fear whatsoever, but he's caught against the ice wall, goes for the charge, and while that was all going on, it was Pelican with another smart ice wall play in the backline, managed to hit 2 icicles to clean up the rest of it. So the Florida Mayhem ultimate means that they're going to be playing backwards, and it's going to be a slightly better one. There you go, to fire straight through it. It's an age-old combo. Ganamjin gets caught out by it. And they're just all falling down here. The Florida Mayhem struggling to hold up against the Atlanta Reign. Just a slightly better read of the way that team fight was going. Now by Gator, and that's going to use the wall as well. Stunned up on the side, Kai coming in with the flashbang. It's enough to lock Yaki up. You can see the sound barrier being committed. The immortality field as well from the Florida Mayhem just to try and keep them alive in this fight. But with the Blizzard on top of it, the Atlanta Reign are just more than dominant in this team fight. Not having any sort of struggles.
Here's what I suggest, Brent, as well. Gargoyle has just used his Gravitic Flux. I want him to swap over to the Diva. Okay.
The window goes down. They're trying to push up past it to try and take the team fight. The Blizzard as well, but it gets ate up. Hawk. Beautiful defense matrix. Finding that one. What a critical ultimate to negate. And now we can see them pressing forward once more, but Iris is the one to go down here. Hawk using the self-destruct. He's going to get taken out as well. Yaki with the quick little icicle and the flashbang just to lock him in place once more. BQB hunting for targets now, just trying to see if he can connect onto anything. Looks like the Florida Mayhem are slowly grinding this one out. Able to get 1 tick so far over the course of the Overwatch League 2021 season. Immortality field is forced out. Earth Shatters as well, as Gator just tries to make the most of it. Indeed, he's going to be able to support his team pressing forwards. Getting a lot of these kills, and it's going to be a reset, I think. So Yaki, the Florida Mayhem, and yet in the end, the Atlanta Reign now are going to be pushing back in. They know that the window, the amplification matrix is done, it's dusted. BQB's off the map with Hawk's boosters, and they're just going to press the advantage again. The Atlanta Reign showing no remorse, pressing all the way into their spawn once again. And it's just once more, see if we can get some value. Swinging around, the soundbar is actually going to be traded by both of these teams. And now the amplification matrix laid down with the Earth Shatter off on the side. Hawk is going to be down on the deck, but nobody is able to follow up. The Atlanta Rangers kiting back, but slowly being ground down to oblivion. As the Atlanta Reign are just going to be eventually pushed off. But look at this is a brutal amplification matrix. This window from the high ground, nobody can contest Kai. He's just taking pot shots after pot shots. And they just step off the cart for a moment. Trying to take this fight. Right now, they just stepped off the cart again, Josh. They just didn't step onto it.
Okay, I'm not going to defend that
time bank.
I'm not going to defend that one, Brent. I am not. I simply cannot. That was Florida looking like they've got some grandpa reflexes, to be honest, because Atlanta move so fast, so decisively. From
OG laying down the Earth Shatter. No one can follow up on it, though. A bit preemptive, but it does stall them out, but Kai does go down. The window doing a lot of work there for BQB, just layering on top damage of his already pretty potent shots. Another team fight win here. So this is what avoid this damage.
And they're out.
Right, okay. Yeah, they're like, okay, we'll take it. But they've been caught out. This is the kind of aggression you need. The Blizzard, Yaki just lays it down at his feet, and he's able to catch out the tanks with it. A couple of kills going their way. They just need to try and clean this up. If they don't lose any more players, this is still looking very good for the Florida Mayhem.
This is the weirdest fight I've ever seen. 3 players from Atlanta are just trying to push the payload further and further. They've invested the Blizzard. It's forced a sound barrier out of Slime. And Brent, the thing is, the more players get traded here in this big mess, the more it favors Atlanta because they can't keep getting spawn camped. They're getting closer and closer to that objective.
Oh, it's pushing so close now, Josh. It's so inevitable. Slime might be able to contest this one if he's got the moves, but look at it. Everybody's keeping him off the cart, and there it is. They tried to make it happen. Was not going to be done. So it's quite large that they were able to get those 2 opening picks. You can see the Winston's going to be trading positions as the bubbles are laid down once more, but this time it's Yaki who's able to capitalize. As Massa goes down, the post bomb laid against the ground. Hawk just walks over it. Trying to warm up a little leg there, and Pelican almost getting a cheeky little clip.
You can't be doing that to the Mayhem fans. You can't be doing that to the Mayhem fans. They already got brutalized on at Eichenwald.
You're being seen try and let it loose once they find an opportunity. There you go. It only connects onto the one target. It was Gargoyle, but they do manage to bring him down. So no Zara in this fight. It's going to be a bit troubling now for the Florida Mayhem to try and overcome this one. Massa using the rally as well to try and really cement this lead. Florida Mayhem coming in with the reactive ultimates. Bob just being laid against the wall as well. Going to be putting in some suppressive fire. And Yaki as well just doing the business. 2 kills for him, as he's just been absolutely tearing them up while they've been... No more healing. It's only Iris is going to be supplying it, and they're going even further beyond now. Pelican might just be pushing his card in. It's contested ever so slightly. They've got to try and push them off now, but look at this work being done. Gator with the Primal Rage just trying to make something happen so low, but Yaki tracks him down. The EMP will be unleashed, and Yaki just needs to play quite safe and conservative for the time being until it fades away. Just about getting back into the fight now to recall the post bomb laid down, not getting the target, but does get the recall or the translocator out of Pelican. He's not in this fight any longer. The overtime is burning. Hawk might just get demeched in the mix of it, and it's looking like the slow grind out now for the Florida Mayhem, just stopping them just short of this first checkpoint now, Josh.
And as brutally as the Florida Mayhem were held on Eichenwald, they do the same and arguably worse to the Atlanta Reign here on Gibraltar.
Not a Primal Rage going in, but it's a bit of a mistimed communication here, because you can see, again, the projected barrier being applied. Bob going to be laid into the back line, but he's hacked up, so he's not going to be part of any sort of this fight. But OG with the Primal Rage has caught so many targets in close quarters. They're so low, but nobody's able to capitalize. No one's able to bring them down. Now the EMP connecting onto 3 of them as Pelican just lets it loose. Can anybody to get any sort of damage into the Florida Mayhem to try and burst them?
Nano boost from Iris, it's got to be huge.
It goes immediately onto Gator. They want to try and get some proactive damage out. Hawk gets deleted straight away. That's a large amount of your damage gone now for the Atlanta Reign. The Graviton Surge from Gargoyle, it's good. It connects onto a couple of targets, and that is all the kills flowing now for the Florida Mayhem as they roll that cart forward. And they're going to be taking Gibraltar away. Switch, and they try and catch a player out with the wall as well. BQB does have full energies charged up right now with the Symmetra beams, and now the TP goes straight to the point. They've already lost Slime, which is a bit of a dangerous scenario. They're split up as it stands. We'll see if they can get anything done. The wall again just being laid down, but not able to split anyone up. And Gangnamjin's Immortality Field is the first thing to go, which has opened up the floodgates for the Atlanta Reign to try and just pound in the damage here. You can see Kai, no one able to deal with him on that off angle. And the damage he's putting out is enough to try and stop this push. Ice Wall is laid down. Pelican using it to try and stop this amplification matrix from getting any sort of value. The Immortality Field is laid down. I believe that's still going to provide some protection along with the Symmetra Wall. A winnable fight now for both sides as Kai's going to get beamed. Trying to just shoot through the wall. I mean, it might be that good. You can't quite shoot through the Symmetra Wall just yet.
BQB is demolishing. All they have to do is keep this guy alive, and he's doing a bajillion damage.
Yeah, booped into the self-destruct, but it's not going to be the thing that gets him killed. Iris will be, instead, eventually brought down himself. It's an even fight, Josh. Going both ways. And you're right, BQB was so instrumental in essentially just staying alive and outputting so much damage to make that fight winnable. And it's just a matter of time. The charge comes in off the side as Gator tries to get a cheeky little pick. He's rewarded with a kill onto Slime. down, and the point's going to start to get contested, but both the tanks, OG and Gargoyle, very low. Gargoyle opting to use the self-destruct, trying to get the pin onto Gator to try and disrupt him, and maybe set himself up for the self-destruct kill, but not going to be enough here. The Atlanta Reign with the shot advantage. Too. Yeah, able
Another
to
huge
just close that.
And you with it. And they've given the high ground up to Kai.
The other shot comes down from Gator, but I don't believe he got anything there. Just about blocked. It's a crisscross of ultimates being used, but ultimately it looks like the Atlanta Reign are the ones who are going to be coming out on top here. Just about found their fight as well. Playing quite aggressive into the Florida Mayhem, not letting them really set up in their own spawn. Now only 2 minutes remaining. Of course, Atlanta Reign have to respect this. They're going to use this opportunity to actually they're going to play the point here. The self-destruct is using the corner, the sound barrier, and now the Earth Shadow laid down. Gator against the wall, pinned. And now, with the swing, does take down OG. And even fight, the defense matrix does its job. Gargoyle eats up the Deadeye. The Florida Mayhem with an opportunity now. They're just going to try and start to play this point. The self-destruct laid down in the lower sections is going to catch as well onto Hawk, taking him out of the fight. No longer in his mech, and that's the Florida Mayhem finishing with 16 seconds on the clock.
I'll tell you what, Bren, 16 seconds.
Look to see if they can get any sort of target whatsoever, and it's Kai who ends up getting the first kill. BQB falls. And I said it before, and I'll say it again, I think Kai might be one of the best Ashe players that we've got in the Overwatch League. Definitely makes the case for it.
Yeah, and you might be looking at one of the best Echoes as well, because the way that Pelican just destroyed OG and Gargoyle inside that Winston bomb.
Used now as well as Pelican moves over now to the Winston along with the Supercharger. It is unreal. No G booped off the high ground. Gravitic Flux as well, just crushed into the floor. Pelican finding so much work right now. The rest of his team just holding down his high ground position, but Gangnam brings him down, potentially saving his team here.
And Yaki with a response of his own, this duplicate form, he copied Hawk and has managed to do enormous work.
Massive.
That flux was huge. But the player that I want to point out, because he was on a
kill onto Massa, but Massa just about goes to the rest of his team. Look at the shots going in, and Yaki damage boosted up. That is ridiculous. Just burns down Pelican. The Atlanta Reign still in a pretty solid position, but a nice Bionade from Gangnam takes out Massa. And it's an even fight, and it's a bit shaky all over the place.
Yeah, what a messy engagement.
Laid down, Hawk slept up, but he's probably going to get woken up within this cleave damage here. And now the Atlanta Reign are down onto the low ground. Bob again, Kai laying it down, and it's putting in a lot of work as Slime will be the first one to go down in this mark. The bubble. As OG's just trying to stave off so much. The Primal Rage going to be unleashed as well by him. Just trying to get any sort of kill possible, but Hawk biding his time, and with the Hyperspheres aimed well, does take him out.
Unfortunately, though, it's just not enough for the Atlanta Reign. This composition is not working for them. Florida are too good at the dive. This is what I was talking about as we came into Hanamura. Can one of that Atlanta are throwing at them just ends up getting pushed away? They're taking such an aggressive defense here. The Supercharger again just dismissed, thrown away. Florida don't care.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's a love letter to bronze players everywhere, playing all the way deep in the spawn. And they're just stopping them from even touching. One player manages to get over here. As you can see, Kai had the Bob, and he's going to lay it down onto the point to form the overtime. A window of opportunity now. Maybe the Florida Mayhem a bit off more than they can chew. Gangnam though, getting the sleep off onto Bob and getting the kill onto Pelican is massive, and Gator almost messing up his mechanics there, just bumping into the side, but he is going to be able to get onto the point still. The Florida Mayhem trying to stop them. The sleep into another kill as Gangnam is just holding the line, pushing them back, taking pick after pick after pick, and the overtime falls, and the Florida Mayhem are the ones who will be taking Hanamura away, and they're going to take this series.